Hi guys, this is a video response to Matt, hatthewmartley. Thanks for the tag, Matt. 4 really interesting questions, and the sort of theme of the questions is you can't take it with you. I've got the questions written here because I can't quite remember them all. Question number 1 is, do you struggle buying games? Which is an absolutely hilarious question for me, because it couldn't be further from the truth. I don't struggle to buy games at all. If anything, I struggle not to buy games. There's always stuff I want. I try not to go mad, and you know, I can be a proper crackhead with stuff. Got a really addictive personality, so same goes for games really. I've got to sort of watch myself and stick to a budget. But there's always games I want. There's always new games I want, new systems I want. Yeah, it really is endless, the stuff that I'm after. So I definitely don't struggle to buy games, and money's not really an issue. You know, I've got money to spend on games. So yeah, not at all is the answer to that question. Question number 2 is, have you ever regretted trading in a game? Absolutely. I think we've all regretted trading or selling off games, and you know, I could talk about this for probably 2 hours, the amount of games I've gotten rid of over the years. But obviously I got rid of all the games I had when I was younger, because when you're a kid you can't just keep all your games for a system and then the new system comes out and you buy the new one. That's not how it works. You trade off the old stuff to get the new stuff. So I guess I wouldn't regret getting rid of all that stuff in a way, because if I hadn't, then I wouldn't have had the new stuff. So I guess answers to this would be more recent stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think I talked about this in another video. I had a Game Boy Advance SP, the Famicom edition, that I pre-ordered. This is before I started properly collecting. And I pre-ordered it from Japan, and I really loved the system, and I ended up selling it off really cheap, and I've subsequently bought another one, but it's not as in quite nice condition, the box. So I do regret getting rid of that. But the one that makes me want to cry myself to sleep when I think about it is definitely years and years ago I had an Amiga 500, which was actually, you know, the most fond memories I have of gaming are definitely of the Amiga 500. Really close to my heart, fantastic system, I loved it. And when you're sort of that age and you have an Amiga, you have a lot of copied games, and it was sort of swapping games on the playground and what have you. So all these copied games on disc, they've got your own handwriting on. You'd write Syndicate Disc 1 on it, and they're really personal. You can't ever replace those. You can buy the games again, but you can't ever replace that feeling of nostalgia that you'd get from playing the original disc that you sort of copied and then handwritten on. When I was in school, it was probably quite late in school, when I was about 16, I swapped my Amiga with all my boxes of disc games for a friend's Super Nintendo and a load of games. Now this trade was meant to be temporary, but when I came to swap back and said, "Oh, I've got your Super Nintendo here," he said he'd thrown it in the bin. Now why on earth you'd throw a perfectly good Amiga and all those games in the bin, I'll never know, but obviously I never got the Amiga back, and really regret that. It's devastating to think about, really. I'd love to have that original Amiga. Well, I mean, it's the games really. I'd love to have my original boxes of disc games. So that would be definitely my biggest regret for trades. Question number 3 is, if you could play a game again knowing nothing of it, what would it be? Now, I think that I did think about this one briefly in the way that, oh, I could say old games that mean a lot to me, like, oh, Streets of Rage 2. But I don't think if I played it now, it would have the same impact as it did back in the 90s, and you know, I wouldn't love it so much if I played it now. So I was thinking more of modern games that I really enjoyed and that really involved me, and I think the runner-up would definitely be Shadow of the Colossus on the PS2. If I could play that again from scratch, I definitely would. If you've never played that game, go and play that game. It's just stunning. There's nothing else like it. Amazing soundtrack. It's such a unique game, and it's really actually thought-provoking, and it's really emotionally provoking. And I think that's something that I really look for these days as a gamer, being you know, and being an adult. And I don't really go for these Call of Duty type games, and I prefer a single player story and something that's going to really engage me emotionally, and Shadow of the Colossus definitely does that. But my number one answer to this question, if I could play one game again knowing nothing of it, it would absolutely be Fallout 3. Now, I loved Fallout 3, I still love Fallout 3, I just played through it again a couple of months ago, and you know, I thought, oh, a quick playthrough, and then I ended up doing 120 hours in, and it's just a stunning game. I cannot wait for Fallout 4 to be announced. It's just fantastic. It's so big, it's so involving, and it's just stunning, and I love playing through it again. And it's even different every time you play it, and you're free to play it how you want to. But to be able to play that again for the first time, I would really relish the chance to do that. So that would definitely be my answer to that question, Fallout 3. And lastly, question 4, if you had to be buried with a console, what would it be? Now, something Matt said in his video kind of made me think, does it mean dead or alive? So I guess I'll give an answer for each. Not that I'd really want to be buried dead with a console, and I wouldn't want to be buried alive at all, obviously. But I guess if I was to be buried dead with a console, I'd take that to mean what is my most cherished console. And I mean, if we expand it from console to gaming systems, it would absolutely be the Amiga, because the Amiga is my most cherished system for sure. But consoles, I guess it would be Sega Mega Drive. Definitely, I would be buried with a Sega Mega Drive. Now, if I was to be buried alive, what would I take? And that would absolutely be the Game Boy Advance SP, because I don't fancy being you know, wedged into a coffin with a Sega Mega Drive and a TV and and controllers. So, you know, Game Boy Advance SP, I can see myself whittling away those agonising last few days in the coffin. Really good system. I love the original Game Boy, and obviously the SP plays the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games as well, so it's perfect. And SP is really good looking system, so I think that would be my answer. So that's it really, guys. Thank you so much again, Matt, for tagging me, very kind. And I'm going to tag Pat, any old username, unlucky Pat. So you better get, you know, like you said, pull your finger out and start doing some VRs, mate. So I'll leave a link to Pat's channel down below, and to Matt's channel, so if you haven't seen Matt's channel, then check him out. So that's it, guys. Cheers.